Hello, welcome. This is Sports Tonight, reaching you live from Channels TV Sports Center in Lagos, Nigeria. Always a delight to have you join us. I'm Austin Okunakpan. It's still an action-packed world of sports. On the show tonight, we'll talk about athletics in Nigeria. We'll talk about that Nigerian striker that is lighting up everywhere in the English Premier League, Odion Igalo, after being named the English Premier League player for the month of December. Stand up for the Nigerian Odion Igalo doing big things. We'll talk about that tonight on the show. We'll also talk about the English Premier League. Yes, we're beginning to see some drama as we approach the tail end of the season, and also the 2016 African Nations Championship. Yes, the update is that the Super Eagles have landed. Yes, they're in Kigali, waiting to see how their first game against Nigeria on Monday will go. But remember, that championship will kick off on the 16th of this month. We'll also talk about the Australian Open. Yes, tennis will get our attention on the show. I'll talk about that big one. We're counting down to Deontay Wilder versus Spilka. Do you think we'll see another wild finish? Heavyweight boxing doing big things at this moment, and we will talk about it. Today, it's a Friday night. Babatunde Ogunshiku will join us. We'll play some chess. Yes, chess will also get our attention on this show. There's so much to talk about. So why not just bring into all of what we'll do tonight? Yes, let's quickly bring you into all of the action on Twitter. You can talk to us with Channels_Sports verified Twitter handle. Talk to us about anything you want to talk about in your action-packed world of sport. There's so much to talk about. Don't bring it out. Just bring it coming. Channels_Sports on Facebook with Channels Sports. You can also go to our website, see all our top stories. It's channelstv.com, and on YouTube we're /channelsweb. I'll just let you know that if you're to go, you can download the Channels TV app for your iPad, your Android phones, your Windows phones, your iOS. I keep telling you that this works like magic. The password m.channelstv.com. Download the app, go to your respective stores, download that app, m.channelstv.com, and wherever you are in the world right now, you will be part of the action. Keep telling it's an action-packed world of sports. Right here at Channels TV Sports Center in Lagos, Nigeria. You know what we do? We don't just invite you to come watch the show. We say, come, let us play for the love of the game. We've got guys in the studio who cannot wait to start talking sports, because, I mean, they just love talking sports. It's a Friday night. Tolu Olorumoten, he joins us tonight on the show. Tolu, good to have you around.
Good to be here again, Austin.
I promised you I'm not singing your name in 2016.
But let's see how long you're going to keep up
and
with the promise.
Just that. And of course, I've got a renowned football administrator, Chris Obiako, with us. Good to have you around, Chris.
Hi, thank you very much.
So
My
much,
pleasure to be here.
That's right. It's always a delight to also have you around, Chris. There's so much to talk about, but let's begin with this disturbing news that came out of Abuja. Yes, I said disturbing because it is an Olympic year, and it involves Nigerian athletes that we are proud of. It's not a good one because 8 Nigerian athletes have failed doping tests. Yes, that's the story. 8 Nigerian athletes failed doping tests. The Nigeria Olympic Committee, they actually released those results and said that not a good one. We're waiting for the B sample, but according to the release by the NOC, when you fail the first one, of course, virtually nothing can be done for the second one. This was actually the Minister for Youth and Sports, Solomon Dalong, that announced this in Abuja. Some athletes, yes, you know her, Chinazama Mamadi. Yeah, she won the long jump at the African Games in Congo, Brazzaville. We also have athletes from wrestling, athletes from powerlifting, athletes from athletics, and of course, para-athletics. Not a good one, but it's a step towards ensuring that athletes stay clean. So that's the updates. The affected names, whose names were released in Abuja, said they were reported to have tested positive, and they have been banned. Actually, they will not take part in any sporting activity for a period of 4 years. A period of 4 years, not a good one, but let's see, there are lessons in things like this. When things like this happen, we just hope that the lessons that are supposed to come out of it are actually taken seriously. And again, Chris, I'll get you talking. It's another opportunity for us to ensure that we do all we can to educate our athletes so that they can stay clean.
Yeah, I have to start from somewhere. When you have athletes who are competing for your nation, these athletes are not mobilized. They're not given adequate training. They are not given adequate exposure to compete with the best in Africa and the rest of the world. They resort to all kinds of gimmicks to be able to meet up with the challenges they face outside. That's as simple as that. When frustration sets in, when it comes to a period where people don't know because what you are talking about lecturing them. Who does this?
That's right.
Who does it?
The coaches.
It's the duty of the Ministry of Sport. Yeah, to apportion officials who will educate athletes on the ways, the kind of diet they have to take, on the kind of drinks they have to take, and the kind of medication they have to take. Because athletes who are training for a competition, there are some drugs such athletes will be exposed to, and they will be injured, and they will have problems. They will be tired, and along the line, they must have some things that they must, adhere to, and things that they must not take, and all that. So, if you want to look at it from a holistic point of view, you start looking at the antecedents of the sports officials.
That's right.
Sports officials, what have they done to make sure that this? I give you an example. Do you know that so many of our footballers today don't even know anything about the FIFA laws of the game? They don't know anything. So you see them challenging the referees in the field. For instance, you see them, any call that the referees make, they will challenge the referee because they don't know what the laws of the game says.
That's right. Tolu, officials not doing their job, coaches not talking to athletes.
Yeah.
You as an athlete, don't you owe yourself that responsibility to ensure that you safeguard your career and stay clean?
What's important is that if you are in a sport, I think you need to learn everything about that sport. I mean, the sport is your source of income, the sport is your source of livelihood, the sport is what gives you the fame and the popularity.
That's right.
It's what puts food on your table. It's what you do, not just because it puts food on your table, but because you love it.
That's right.
So you are expected to keep yourself updated at every time. Know the nooks and cranny of your sport, and then try to stay healthy. Look, the drug cheating incidences are just not what we want to see in sports.
That's right.
Athletics is being mad internationally at the moment. Getting affected in this way is bad enough. But hey, it didn't just start this year or last year. We've had issues of doping in para athletics and other weightlifting categories for some time now. The most recent one will have to be Chika Malaha.
That's right.
And the Commonwealth Games just 2 years ago.
Glasgow.
You know. And somehow the case just died down.
That is the issue.
You know,
the AFN needs to come out. Not just the AFN, the Sports Commission. They need to come out and explain why they're not doing more to educate athletes.
Look, the athletes agreed. They must know what to do. Equally, the AFN should educate these athletes. But then I think desperation is the reason why a lot of athletes resort to cheating. And hey, until there are stricter measures, I saw some of the release that it was saying they'll be banned from between 4 to 8 years. Look, if you're banning them for 8 years, ban them for 8 years. If you're banning them for 4 years, ban them for 4 years. Let them be examples or scapegoats for others to learn from. Look, we are not even as successful, or we are not such an enviable nation in athletics. Why should we resort, or why should we have our athletes resort into what will even bring more shame, more damning shame to our name as a nation? Look, we have a lot of things to tackle already. Hey, let's keep our athletics as clean as possible. Let's give the athletes who want to be clean an enabling environment to thrive, and that is exactly what they will do. So I think it's disappointing, really, that we have 8 of these guys who went to the All-African Games in Congo, Brazzaville, get stripped off their medals. How much medals did we acquire? And then we have 8 stripped off already. I think it's embarrassing, really. But hey, it's not about just talking about what has happened. It's about the way forward. First things first. Even before our athletes go into international competitions, we need to conduct routine checks on them. Check and know for certain that maybe when the tournaments are over and a test is run, none of these athletes will fail you. I think once we put that in place, it will help us against instances like this in the nearest future.
Well, that's the hope. We're hoping that there's something positive that will come out of this. But the story is that 8 Nigerian athletes have failed doping tests after WADA picked up their urine samples after the African Games. So it was during the African Games that this actually happened. So another good one. We're still waiting to get more responses from the Nigeria Olympic Committees. It is important that our athletes stay clean. It's an Olympic year. It's just in August, so we don't get into any other form of embarrassment. Let's go on a quick break now. When we come back tomorrow, the 2016 African Nations Championship will kick off in Rwanda. Can the Super Eagles of Nigeria do big things in that tournament? We'll talk about it when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Stay.